Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all doing well. I hope the quiz yesterday went okay. If you weren't able to take it yesterday or whatnot, just email me and we will just keep the communication line open and we will hopefully take care of everything when I get back on Monday. So, um, please, 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 if you do need anything, if you have questions on anything, reach out via email. I'll be more than happy to help answer those questions before I come back on Monday. On the last PowerPoint on Tuesday, I put this slide up there, and so I'm just going to put this up here again. I'm not going to go through it as much as I did on Tuesday, but it is time to think about registering and paying for the AP exam. The window closes November 4th, which I think is that 2 weeks from today? 2 weeks from tomorrow? 2 weeks from tomorrow. So, want to make sure that we're all on the same page there. If you would like to take the AP exam, please make sure that you're talking to your family members and doing that. Remember, the exam is not something that I require you to take for my class. It is scheduled to be the first Thursday in May. I think it's either May 4th or May 5th of 2023. So if you are not taking the AP exam on that day, you will be taking a comprehensive exam in my class. So you got to take a test either way, but I don't want to force you to take the AP one if you don't want to, especially because it costs monies. So $10, $107 for the standard fee, and then if you qualify for free reduced lunch, then it's only $10. If you're not sure about that, or if you need to make sure you fill out a waiver, you need to contact that email there. If you do decide to pay, you are able to cancel. If you just need to cancel it before March 1st, we'll almost be done with all of our chapters by then. I think March is the last month. I think I'm done by April 1st with all of the chapters that we need. So students can cancel before March 1st. You're still charged $40, but you'll be refunded the other $67, but there are no refunds after March 2nd. So make sure you're talking with your family members about whether or not this is something you want to do. If it is something you want to do, then the way you register is by logging into myap.collegeboard.org. You need to specifically enroll in my class section. First period, there's your code there. Second period, your code is below. You should already have a College Board account, especially if you have taken an AP class before. If you've never taken an AP class before or are not sure, either email me or email Miss Dahl and we can get that figured out. Once you log in, we'll need to confirm your exam registration status before November 4th. I can help make sure to do that when I come back. And then your parent or guardian needs to pay via school pay before November 4th. We always recommend to keep a copy of a receipt just in case, but yeah, you don't pay through the College Board website. You just register through the College Board website and then you pay through school pay, which you should be able to find either on the SPS website or the West Seattle High School website. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm emailing this out to your parents and families as well. So if they have any questions, hopefully they can email me personally. But yeah, let's jump into today. So SAT stuff. It's just so applicable. You just took it last week. I'm sure you're still waiting just patiently for your scores. So while we wait, we can start to statisticize some things. So, we have been working on experiments all week long. So we talked about how to do random experiments. We talked about on Tuesday different ways to make sure that we're making our experiments more accurate, whether it's having blinding or placebos or anything like that, a control group, all those fun things. So today we're going to talk about a few different things with different types of designs for experiments or for treatments. So this first one is review. So let's read. West Seattle High School has decided to offer an SAT prep class again this year. It will be offered in 2 different formats, online or a classroom teacher. The counselors want to know which teaching method will yield a higher SAT score, so that they have allowed us to set up an experiment. So 50 students have signed up to take some form of the SAT prep class, 20 seniors and 30 juniors. So first thing we're going to do is do a completely randomized design to compare the two treatments. Now, you could, for this, do a comparison that is just words. I think that would take a really long time. I'm probably going to do the diagram just because that's a lot simpler, in my opinion, less words. But this is a completely randomized design. We've done this before on Monday, Tuesday, I can't remember, one of those days. So let's see here. So when I do a completely randomized design, I'm going to start with my total, which is 50 students. So I don't really care if they're juniors or seniors at this point. I just care how many there are. So I'm going to attempt to do this nicely. 50 students. Oh. Okay. From those 50 students, I'm going to do a random assignment. And because I'm writing on here, I am not going to be able to actually describe the randomness. So I'm going to do a little asterisk. Make sure that you somehow below explain how you are going to randomly assign, whether you are going to do number the students 1 through 50, put all of their names in a hat, alphabeticalize them, numbers 1 through 50, using a random number generator, calculator generator. How are you going to randomize it? But make sure you asterisk that, but I'm not going to do that because of my handwriting. From there, we're going to have 2 different groups, so group 1 and group 2. Making sure that the groups have equal amounts of students in them. Once again, I don't really care if they're juniors or if they're seniors, so we just need to make sure that we know that group 1 has 25 students and group 2 has 25 students, so 25 students. Oh, my handwriting. I'm just going to leave students. And group 2 also has 25 students. Oh, wow. Oh. We're going to pretend that says students, right? We can all pretend. I think we can pretend. Okay. And then after that, we're going to have group 1 be, we'll have them be the first treatment, and we'll say that they're taking it online. So treatment 1 is online. And group 2, they get treatment 2. And treatment 2 is going to be the opposite one, so it'll be the classroom teacher. You would, in that red asterisk, when you are talking about how you're going to randomly assign them to the groups, as long as you're describing how you're going to randomly assign the 50 students to the different groups, you don't then need to also tell them that you're going to randomly assign them. Yeah, you just need to have that one talk about how the random assignment is going to happen between the 2 groups. So once I number them 1 through 50, 1 through 25 go through group 1, 26 through 50 go to group 2, something like that. That's where the randomization needs to come into play. So if you have any questions about the randoming piece, feel free to email me, or we can always check back in. I don't believe on my answer key I have an asterisk for the randomization because I just didn't have enough space, but I would need to make sure that you guys have it there on yours. Oh my goodness. All right. After the 2 treatments, then we would compare the SAT scores at the very end. All right, so this is considered a completely randomized design. These are things we already did earlier this week. I'm using a diagram method. You, of course, can write out using words, but really what I want you to focus on today is the vocab word. the vocabulary, this is considered a completely randomized design. And now we're going to look at two other types of designs that are very similar, but are just kind of specificing it a little bit more. So, the counselors at West Seattle High School hypothesized that the online versus classroom results could be greatly affected by the grade level of students that were put into each treatment group. They know that seniors generally score better on the SAT than juniors. How could we adjust our experiment to ensure that there is an even split of seniors and juniors in each class? Draw an outline of the experiment with your modifications. Woo! So, we are now modifying this slightly, and I'm going to do my best to make it so that you can see it on here, but I'm going to be honest, you're probably going to want to go to the Schoology page and look at the nicer answer key that I have, that I actually could write and not have to use this stylist. I mean, it's kind of up to you. Once again, so I'm going to do my best. But go to Schoology page if you need something else. So, which is probably because I'm just going to probably do a few of the things here. Alrighty. To do an outline here, to adjust it to ensure that there's an even split of juniors and seniors, what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a randomized block design. So this is what this is going to be called. This is the statistical name of this. Oh, I don't want the highlighter. I would like a pen. There we go. Randomized block design. All right. For the randomized block design, what a randomized block design does is that it blocks or it groups things based off of something specific per the prompt. So we want to block or group something specific in this problem, which is going to help kind of make our experiment a little bit more accurate, since they say that seniors generally score better on the SAT and we don't have an equal amount of juniors and seniors in the sample. So since it specifically says that we want to figure out or ensure that there's an even split of seniors and juniors, when we do our randomized block design, we are going to want to block or split the students up by grade level. So in this problem, we're going to want to split the students up by grade level and then randomly assign them to a treatment. So split by grade level and then randomly assign. Split by grade level, then random assignment. Okay, so you'll see it a lot better on the answer key that I have on Schoology, but essentially what happens is you can either write this using words, or I think my answer key has it on a diagram. But essentially what we would do to have an outline with these blocked modifications of splitting up by grade level, we would still have the 50 students. From the 50 students, though, we have 20 seniors, and we had 30 juniors. Okay, so that right there, I'm splitting them up before I randomize them. In a randomized block design, you usually split the groups up by your blocks first, and then you would have some sort of random assignment within each group. So I have my 50 students. I'm splitting those 50 students up into the 20 seniors and the 30 juniors, so I'm splitting them up by grade level. From there, I'm going to randomly assign the 20 seniors into 2 equal groups. Okay, so I'm either going to number them 1 through 20 and go from there, but then I would have group 1 which is about 10 seniors, and I would have group 2, which is about 10 seniors. From that, then group 1 would get treatment 1, which I think was the online class, versus the second group would get treatment number 2. And then I would get results from there. Okay, so I have 50 students. I split them up into different blocks. In this case, those blocks are grade levels. So for my 20 seniors, I'm going to randomly assign those 20 seniors into 2 separate groups of equal 10. The first group is going to have treatment 1, which is the online class, and then the group 2 is going to have the second treatment. And I'm going to do that same exact thing for the juniors. So the juniors are 30 of them. I'm going to randomly assign them, but this time, since there's 30 juniors, I'm going to have 15 of them be in the first group, and I'm going to have 15 of them be in the second group. And I think on my answer key online, I specifically have like group 1A, group 2A, group 1B, group 2B. And so if you're writing the experiment out using words instead of using a diagram, you're going to have to make sure that you're really specific. Then from there, the 15 randomly assigned group 1 juniors would get treatment 1, which is the online school, and then the second group would get the second treatment. You would, like last time, have to describe how are you randomly assigning it, so make sure you have some asterisks there. And then after all of that, then you would compare SAT scores. Compare SAT scores. So the first example we did was just considered a completely randomized design where we were not caring about grade level. The second one is making things a little bit more specific. And the only reason we're trying to make it more specific is because we know that the seniors generally score better on the SAT than the juniors. And so by blocking it by grade level, and then doing the random assignment and the treatments, now not only are we going to have data for whether or not the online class is better than the in-person class or vice versa, but now we're also looking at specific data for just the seniors and just the juniors. So randomized block design kind of helps make things a little bit more specific and a little more accurate if we know certain information like we do in this prompt. So let me know. It's called a randomized block design. You can block kind of any way depending on the different group. All right, let's look at the last one. The counselors are now worried that a student's GPA is certainly going to affect their SAT scores. So let's look only at the juniors. So I'm only going to look at the juniors for this time. We want to be sure that the different GPAs are being evenly distributed in the 2 treatment groups. So how could we be sure that the GPAs are evenly distributed? So of the 30 juniors, now I want to make sure that I'm not putting all of the students with a high GPA in the online class, or I'm not putting all of the students with a high GPA in the teacher class. I want to make sure that everything is mixed and evenly distributed and evenly balanced or organized. Okay, so this type of blocking or organizing or whatever, this is what we're going to do is called a matched pairs design. Oh, I don't want it to be a highlighter, although maybe a highlighter is probably easier to write with. I don't know. This is going to be called a matched pairs design. Matched pairs design. And for a matched pairs design, I don't usually do a diagram when you're trying to design an experiment because it's going to be way too complicated and too many arrows. So generally, you would see a diagram with the randomized block design that we just did, but you wouldn't see a diagram in the matched pairs design that we're going to do now. Usually for matched pairs design, it's just a written word explanation. So in order to do an experiment here where we could be sure that the GPAs are evenly distributed, what you would need to do is, at first you would need to like order all of the students using their GPAs. And you can either go from least to greatest or greatest to least. But the first thing we would have to do is order all students using their GPAs. Order all students based on GPA. And you can see on Schoology, I kind of have it written a little bit nicer. But in order to do a matched pairs design, the first thing we have to do is we have to order all of their students based on their GPA. Then what we would do is the pairs part. So from there, I'm going to take the two students with the highest GPAs and I'm going to pair them together. So pair up students with highest GPA. From there, we would then, now I wrote on my answer key in line, flip a coin to assign one to the online class and one to the classroom. Now this would be the only time you could do a flipping coin is in a matched pairs design. And that's because you have only two people or two items or two things. You cannot use flipping a coin to randomize anything unless it is matched pairs. This is the only time you could do that. Okay, so once you pair up students with the highest GPA, you're going to then flip a coin. I guess you don't have to flip a coin. You can decide a different way to randomize it, whether you're going to use a random number generator and label them 1 and 2, and whoever the random number generator picks would go in the online or whatnot. So however you want to randomize it is fine. I would say here, after you pair the students with the highest GPA, you're going to flip a coin to assign one to the online class and one to the classroom. So flip a coin, heads equals online class, and then tails is other. I don't think I wrote it that way on the one on Schoology. I think I just said on Schoology, just flip a coin to assign one to the online class and one to the classroom. From then you're going to repeat this process with the next highest GPAs until all 30 juniors have been assigned. So repeat process pairing off similar GPAs until all 30 juniors have been assigned. Man, I miss my nice handwriting. So how we're matching them here is by doing it this way. Now we can ensure that we have an equal amount of high GPAs and low GPAs in each group. Okay, so with each of these different designs, we're just getting more specific. The very first example we did was just a random design. It's a randomized experiment. We didn't care about any specificities. It's just one group was online and one group was with the teacher. Okay. The second example we did was a randomized blocked design where we blocked the experiment based off of the student's grade level. So we did one for the seniors and we did one for the juniors. This is an even more specific type of experiment. We could do this for the senior group as well, but with the juniors, we were trying to make sure that we had an equal balance of GPAs between each group, whether it was online or with the teacher. And so this is just helping to make the experiment more accurate. This is supposed to help make sure that our results have less variability, less bias in them, and that we don't have to worry about at the very end, oh, well, all of the high GPAs were in this group. That's kind of already taken care of in the end. So yeah, so those are the two new things that we're looking at, a randomized block design and a matched pairs design. You can find the big ideas on the answer key that I have on my Schoology page. Schoology page. And hopefully the writing is a lot nicer on there. Once you finish filling that out, then I need you to work on the check your understanding problems. You should be able to write your own design. You can either have it be in words or you can have it be a diagram. I think I did diagrams for numbers 1 and 2, so you can see that on my answer key on Schoology. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I hope that this was kind of straightforward. Help each other out. If not, reach out. We're going to do one more new thing tomorrow on Friday, and then I will be back on Monday to help clear up any loose ends. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!